Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is episode 17 of my investing journey, where I share my weekly portfolio updates, ETF buys and sells, income progress, and the long-term strategy behind building an income-focused portfolio here in Canada. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm just documenting my own real portfolio and sharing this journey with all of you. As you can see behind me, this was a very good week. We're still in the green. We have increased our percentage year to date from last week. I will be sharing that with you momentarily. But so far, it was a good week. It was a mixed week, right? It's a split week, as we will see, as we go through the presentation. But overall, it was a very good week. Well, as always, this week I added my usual $75 weekly contribution. I just literally finished my taxes, so I'm hoping to have, after I pay, everything that I have to pay, I hope that I will have a little bit extra left that I can add to my ETF. If not, well, we're just going to keep on continuing with the weekly $75 contribution. On the traded side, I was a little bit more active this week. I sold 8 shares of Biggie and 8 shares of Canny. And the reason why I did that is because I actually bought 14 shares of Easy. Now, if you're not familiar with Biggie, Canny, and Easy, they're part of Evolve's ETFs. Actually, Biggie and Canny are included in Easy, as well as AMDY, which is like an international exposure ETF from Evolve. It didn't make any sense for me to have Biggie and Canny. Regular Canny paid 21 cents, Biggie paid 31 cents, Easy pays 31 cents. So I'm actually better off selling Biggie and Canny and buying Easy, because it gives me also the international exposure with AMDY. Okay, so that was the rationale behind the sales and behind the buying of Easy. I also bought 3 shares of PayG from Brompton, a new ETF that just came out. And I also got 1 share of HHIC just to, keep building up my core positions. In terms of the income, well, on the income side, I received the second distributions for the bi-weekly payers. And that brings my total April income to $45.4. So $45.40. That is actually a 13.53% increase over last month, which is exactly the kind of progress that I like to see, right? So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Right now in May, my projected income is $49.20. So we're 80 cents short of $50. So, if that holds, the portfolio income is actually moving in the right direction, right? But we'll see next month. Overall, my portfolio, in terms of overall performance, my portfolio remains in the green. It's now up 5.46% year to date, compared to 4.69% year to date last week. We're staying in the green and we're building for the future. That's what it's all about, right? So, not even though every part of the portfolio worked this week, as we will see soon, the account still moved higher overall, which is really, what we're looking for. So let's get into the start of the week, right? Because this was a huge week. Earnings came out last week. About 80% of the companies that presented earnings were up. So this is pretty good. Obviously, AMD, it was the clear winner. It was up 24.06% last week, which is an incredible move for a single week. It's only a small position in my portfolio, right? It's about 3%. But when a leverage tech-related income ETF has a week like this, I definitely felt it, right? So that was pretty good. You can say that AMDY completely stole the show, and that was the biggest reason the aggressive side of my portfolio looks so strong this week, as we will see on the next slide. Now, if we look at the week to date ranking, well, this is how the portfolio shaped up. Obviously, AMDY, QDay, AB, Broadcom, QQCL, HYLD. So all the EDS with a high percentage of tech stocks did very well. On the other side, well, GLCL, AGCC, CPCC, do you see a trend forming here? HHAC and SDAY were probably the ones that lagged the most, right? And you will see, well, this brings us to the laggards of this week because, this week it was the metals sleeve that gave back hard, right? It was the entire metal sleeve. It was not just like silver, gold. No, it was all of them, the three of them, gold, silver, and copper. They all pulled back together, right? Which doesn't come as a surprise because after such a strong run recently, some give back is kind of expected, right? And that's exactly what happened this week. That's also the trade-off with the more aggressive specialized exposure. When the move is working towards advantage, it works really well. But when the sentiment shifts, the pullback can be sharp too. Still, overall, in those three holdings, we're still in the green. So, no complaining, right? So for me, the main takeaway for this week was obviously that this was a split week. So you had the tech leverage names like AMDY, QDay, AVGY that shine brightly. My metals sleeve gave back some of his recent gains. And the cover call part of the portfolio mostly just traded water, which honestly is exactly what I want from that part of the portfolio, in this kind of choppy, uncertain environment, right? And this is what I like about the structure that I'm building. One part of the portfolio is there to generate income and stay relatively steady, HDIV, HYLD, HHIC. Well, another part is there to give me an upside when certain themes start working, okay? And this week was a very, very good example of that balance in action. Even in a mixed market week, the portfolio still moved forward. The income kept growing. And I was able to keep contributing and refining the setup, which really it's part of the long-term story. Overall, I'm going to say that this has been a very productive week, right? If we want to summarize it, I added my $75, income is up, year to date is up, tech is strong, metals were weak, but the portfolio is still advancing, okay? Remember, as always, income first, growth second, patience always. This was all for episode 17. Hopefully you did enjoy what you saw. If you like what you saw, please give us a like and subscribe. We're trying to reach 100 subscribers before the end of the year. And I will see you all next week for episode 18. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye now.